There are 3 things that you should do when you start a new job, when you get promoted, that have nothing to do with your job. And you should do them before you start thinking about the to-do list in your job spec, in your new job spec. My name is Laura and I am the lead consultant at Talking Shop. And at Talking Shop, we help people communicate and present with confidence. We help them build authority and influence upwards, sideways, downwards in their working environment. And I really help people manage their mindset so that they can perform and deliver at their very best and go for exactly what they want in their career. So tip number 1 of the things that you need to do when you get promoted or you go into a new role that has nothing to do with the job specification or your job list is this: put in place your own personal marketing plan. Now, this is something I get every single client that works with me to do, and I'm not going to go into masses amount of detail, but fundamentally it's about putting into place a communication plan, a marketing plan that really enables you to build relationships in your workplace. Now, I remember years and years and years ago when I was directing an account, I was directing a client account, and my boss, my CEO, had put in a meeting in my diary for like 30 minutes. And I turned up to this meeting on time, and we sat in this room, and it was like this kind of it was like a tiny alternative meeting room. When all the meeting rooms had run out, we'd sit in this sort of tight meeting room, and there were 2 chairs which were far enough away but slightly too close together, so you felt you were slightly in each other's lap a little bit. So I'm sitting there waiting for the CEO to turn up, thinking, I wonder what he wants to talk to me about, or what's he going to tell me, or maybe he's going to give me a pay rise, or maybe I'm in trouble, or whatever it was. And a few minutes later, he turns up and he sits down and he looks straight at me. He's actually turning like this. And he looks straight at me and he says to me, "So what you got for me?" And we both kind of looked at each other for a very uncomfortable amount of time until I was like, what do you mean? What have I got for you? You put this meeting in, not me. You were the one that put the meeting in? And he was like, yeah, I put the meeting in so that you could report into me and tell me what's going on the account. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize. And I ran upstairs to my desk and I sort of gathered up as much stuff as I could, and I came back downstairs and I sat in that meeting room, and it was, by the time that I'd got there, it was like 17 minutes past the hour. So we'd lost 17 minutes of a 30-minute meeting, and I spent the next 10 minutes before he walked off to his next meeting updating him on the account that I was directing. Now, I did 2 things I shouldn't have done there. Number 1 is I should have turned up prepared. No matter what I thought the meeting was about, I should have at least turned up and said, let me give you an update. And number 2 is I really didn't take the opportunity in that meeting and in the following meetings to really communicate upwards and communicate what was going on the account, what value that I was creating and what I had done and what my team had done for the business. It was a real missed opportunity going forward. So tip number 1 is put in place your own personal marketing plan. And to do that, you want to be thinking, why does it matter? Well, it matters about visibility in the business. It matters about reporting up in those scenarios. You want to be front of mind. You want to get recognition for the work that you're doing for your team, whatever it is. You want to have influence in that workplace, and you want to progress your career. I know you've just got promoted or you've just gone into a new role, but you want to be progressing your career on a continual basis. So the first thing you've got to think about is, who are your stakeholders? Identify who the stakeholders are. In my case, it was the CEO, and I should have been reporting up to him much more strategically. But there may be other stakeholders in the business that you also want to be reporting into. Maybe it's not your direct line of communication or direct manager, maybe it's the CEO as well, or maybe there are some other people that is important for you to report into. And then you want to think about, what is your key outcome that you provide that they're interested in? What do you provide that they are interested in? And from their perspective, your reporting line's perspective, what are they responsible for? What do they need to know about what you're doing? What results, challenges can you flag, issues you want to flag, things that are going on? And think about, who are they reporting up to? What can you do to help that process? And what motivates them to take action? What are the emotional touch points that they have? So in my case, again, I walked into that meeting totally unprepared, but not only should I gone into that meeting saying, look, here's an update on the account, but I should be thinking about, in the bigger picture, what else do they need to know? What else do you need to tell them about what's going on, so that you can really be front of mind and promote the credibility of the work that you're doing? There are other ways of building that authority in the company and putting in place your marketing plan, and it may include things like being part of extracurricular activities, so like teach-ins and Q&A sessions and case studies. Maybe there's public speaking that you need to do. You need to do a video or a blog update to demonstrate the expertise of the work that you're doing. It's like promoting and marketing yourself and the work that you're doing, so that you can demonstrate the value you're adding to the business and create relationships and connect with with those relationships, and really be front of mind. And being front of mind is so important in accelerating your career and your career progression. So here are some ideas of how you would do that, and you want to be thinking about these things as soon as you go into your new role, because you want to be marketing yourself as soon as you go into your new role. Now, putting into place a personal marketing plan is crucial for your career, especially as you go further up the ladder, because you need to be communicating and building relationships. And if you want to find out how to do that, and there's a free download associated with this video, just click on the link in the top of the just click on the link in the top of the description underneath this video, and you will go to a page where you can download the free, get access to the video and free download, so that you get all of the information that I've included in this video, and you can actually go through and start planning your own marketing plan. And just so you know, when I work with my clients, some of the clients, they put together these massive PowerPoint presentations as their marketing plan. Some of them write spreadsheets, some of them just put stuff in their email. And it's really about putting into place actions that you're going to take in addition to your workload, so that you can sort of market and report up and communicate to everyone in the business, no matter what size it is, the value you're adding, the value you're creating, the stuff that you're adding to the business and what you're doing. So download the free download at the link below this video, and you can get access to that, and it gives you all the strategies, all the tools, all the tips that is in this video, but also the action sheet, so that you can make sure you go and take the action after you've watched this video, because taking the action is important. Action number 2, master the skills to communicate and present confidently. Believe it or not, I actually started out my career as a software engineer. And that was where way back, when programming really wasn't cool at all. In fact, it was before even Google existed. I'm that old. And back then, in one of my first jobs, I was working as part of the programming team at this company. And they would put us in this room, sort of sectioned off away from everyone. And we would sit there with our hoods up, coding. No one understood what we did. No one came into the room. Nobody knew anything about what was going on. There was actually 2 things that made me different. Number 1, I was female, and there were no techies back then that were female, no girls that could program or understand code. And so I was pretty much on my own with lots of guys, or in anywhere I worked. Number two is that I could actually understand programming, but I also understood business, and I could communicate to human beings. And that was very unheard of. Again, slightly similar today, but back then nobody understood code who could talk to humans and it sort of had that business view. So I was very, very quickly put into positions of quite senior management very early on in my career, at the age of sort of 24 and 25, when I had no business experience, but I understood both worlds and could communicate to both technical teams and business teams. There's one project that always sticks in my head, and it was when I was responsible for bringing together with a client, bringing together 3 different law firms and sort of building this information hub. And I was working with my client, and she was northern, slim, tall, straight talking. And we worked our asses off. For, I think it was 14 months, 1 week and 3 days or something like that. And we were talking to everyone in the business. I was managing the team on my side. We were talking sort of all the levels in the law firms, 3 law firms, and they're, bringing all of that together. And after those 14 months, we delivered the project. I was exhausted, and I was thrilled that we'd managed to do it. A couple of days later, I get this phone call from my client saying, "Hey, Laura, thank you so much for all the work and effort that you've put into this project and your team. We really, really appreciate it. The project has gone down really, really well in the firm, in the business. In fact, it's gone down so well that the 3 senior partners of the firms want to come down to London, meet with us, you and me and your team, and talk about what's next for the project." Which I was like, awesome, that sounds great. My client says to me, "Yeah, no, it is awesome. It's a great opportunity for you. It's a great opportunity for me, and things are going to just get better." So we've got an hour with them. If you want to put together a presentation for like the first 20 minutes, introduce your team, talk about the project, we can then go on to talk about what the next steps are. I was like, great. Put the phone down. And as I put that phone down, my heart sunk, and I think all the blood dripped out of my body. And it was the idea of presenting to 3 senior clients, to anyone, let alone 3 senior clients and my team and my client, filled me with horror. I spent the next 7 days, it was like literally a week away. I spent the next 7 days like not sleeping, trying to put the presentation together, fretting, stressing. I couldn't focus on anything. I was just kind of gearing up for this meeting that Thursday at 2:00 in the afternoon. I literally didn't sleep a wink the night before. I was petrified. And I remember walking into that meeting at 2:00 in the afternoon, and I remember distinctly the desk, the layout of the desk. It was like a horseshoe shape. At the end, there were the 3 senior partners. On the right, it was my team, my boss. And on the left was my client and a couple of other people that she had brought with her. She kind of stood up and introduced me and my team to the senior partners, and then sort of handed over to me. I then walked up to the front of the room, and I don't know if you've ever had that experience when you sort of turn around and you look at everyone staring at you, and you're just like, oh my God, please, floor, swallow me up. And in the next 15 minutes, I bumbled, I mumbled, I looked at the floor, I looked at the ceiling, I looked at anything or anyone except the 3 senior partners and my client and my team. I kind of clipped through the presentation, staring at the slides, not getting any eye contact with anyone. And at the end of it, I was just mortified at how bad I really was. The senior partners asked a couple of polite questions, and then they sort of got up and left. I really couldn't look my client in the eye. I was just so embarrassed. It was at that point in my career, it was at that point where I realized that no matter how hard you work, no matter how much time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears you put into anything, if you cannot communicate and present upwards to other people, you never, ever, ever go as far as you can, as your potential. Because you need to be able to communicate the value that your project, your team, yourself has put in to any business, and you need to be able to communicate that clearly. And it was at that point in my career that I realized the key that unlocks the path to the career that you have, to the potential that you have, to where you want to go is facilitated by being able to communicate and present and influence to other people. It was at that point in my career that you needed to learn a set of skills to unlock the door to your potential. And those skills are communicating and presenting and influencing others. And they are additional to your expertise or your industry or whatever it is that you do, because they are the keys that will facilitate you getting promoted, advancing your career, and really fulfilling your potential. And that is my long-winded way to say, communicating and presenting is key. It's a key thing that unlocks everything, all the doors that are open to you. So action number 2 is master the art of communicating and presenting confidently. And you don't have to be an expert, you just need to be able to do it competently. So what does that mean? It means taking every opportunity. It means taking your position, having a view. It means demonstrating confidence and your posture. It means being able to chair meetings and take position of authority. And it means it's being able to present and communicate competently whenever you need to. And that is additional to the job that you're going into doing. And it is about communicating authority. So action number 3, before you get in to start doing that job to-do list, is manage your mindset. As you go up in your career, you're going to have less support, you're going to have more pressure, you're going to have more competition for whatever it is you're doing or going for, the projects you want to work on. You're going to have more independence and you're going to have more responsibilities. And to manage all of that, to manage that new position, to go in with a really clear head and thinking clearly, you need to manage your mindset. You need to be in tune with your mind. When you get stressed and overwhelmed, there are signals coming at you from yourself, from your emotions, from your mind. They're clearly going, woo, you need to address this right now. You can find mentors or outside coaches to help you go through the next stages as you go into your new job so that you can perform at your absolute best straight away. You want to keep focused on your 20%. Make sure you're doing the right things every day, asking yourself, what is my 20% today? What is it that I can do today that is going to make a big difference to adding value to the projects I'm working on, to the people I'm working with? And think about, your first 100-day plan. What is the value? What are the projects? What are the things that I need to do in the first 100 days to demonstrate my value in my new position, to get to know the framework of my job, to build the relationships that I need to? And obviously, one of them is your personal marketing plan. But what else do you need to be doing in your first 100 days? And like any project you would have, define clear outcomes in the short term, in the mid-term, in the long term for your job. so that you have a clear path to success. And now it's time to do your job. So once you've got those three things, once you have your personal marketing plan in place, once you are communicating and presenting with confidence, and once you're managing your mindset, you have clarity to be able to do your new job at your absolute best. Make sure you address all of these three things. So like all the videos that I do, there is a free worksheet that you can download specifically for this video about how to go into any role, how to go into any new role or promotion and really be at your best straight away. And it covers all the things that we've covered in here today. And you can get it just by clicking on the link below in the description, and you can download that, and there is space for you to write down the actions that you need to take and the notes that you need to make so that you can go into that new promotion, go into that new job and be at your absolute best. And I want you to walk away from watching this video and taking the action. So download the free download. It's a free actions sheet, and you just need to click on the link in the description below. And while you're at it, subscribe to this channel, because there is going to be lots and lots and lots of strategies and tools to make sure you can communicate and present and build authority and influence others in your day job. So click on the subscribe button, download the free action report, start taking action immediately, and wish you good luck in your new job. And there's also other videos that you should go and watch now, the one on confidence, the one on presenting, that will help you go into that role even better tooled up. So watch some of the other videos about confidence, about presenting and building authority, subscribe to the channel and download the free action report. And I'll see you there.